We're going to stand for what we know is right, and we're going to hold the water company accountable. We're going to hold Mayor Greenberg accountable, and we won't stop until we get justice.
Right now in Louisville, we use less than 1% of our available supply of water every day to serve the needs of our city. That is a huge opportunity. When you think about the future of our country, of our world, places that have access to water are going to not just survive, but thrive. And the Louisville Water Company is a private company that has one shareholder, and that shareholder is the city of Louisville. Partnership with the company that all of us own through the city government can truly use water to an advantage as an economic development driver for the next generation.
Racism is officially considered a public health crisis now in the city of Louisville. Mayor Greg Fisher signed this executive order, deeming it that during a news conference today. The mayor addressing the unique combination of challenges facing our city right now moving forward, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, the economic downturn, an increase in gun violence all across the community, and the protests calling for racial justice and equality. Fisher said Breonna Taylor's death certainly put the city in the spotlight for a deeper look at racial injustice across the nation. And that too many Louisvillians, racism is a fact of daily life that has created and documented in our country's laws and policies.
Laws and policies that restrict the freedom of all Americans to exercise their constitutional rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Laws and policies that can restrict where people live, what schools they attend, what jobs they can get. And laws and policies that effectively limit the wealth they can earn and pass on to their children.
Members of Fisher's administration and Metro Council committees previously met to discuss recommending that the city declare racism as a public health crisis back in July.
And I think this is one of those situations where there has to be not just acknowledgement, but there has to be corrective action that takes place. And it can't wait. It needs to happen now. And we're calling on elected officials, we're calling on city leaders, first and foremost, just to hear what's going on. Look into what's happening. Don't ignore what you're hearing. And you'll come to the same conclusion that I came to. Once you hear many of the allegations, once you look into many of the things that are on paper, you'll come to find out that there's something wrong here. The last thing that I'll say, if this was not true, they wouldn't be in litigation. If this was not true, there wouldn't be any court dates. So the fact is, something's happened. It's in court right now. Some of those things are public record. And you have to ask yourself, why isn't the media this on a larger scale? Why is it that the Louisville Water Company officials continue to invite individuals to meetings, and yet you don't hear about it or see it on television? There's an issue. And I think now is the time, especially in this election season, where enough is enough. We have to take decisive action.
Or public notice of what's taking place, so that when a business reads the plan or a house of worship becomes aware of the plan, that they might say, let's us take a look at that and see how we can impact our work around equity. Because I can say, in my lifetime, there has never been more conversation taking place and nor more action taking place in the community around racial equity and racial justice. Is it enough? It's never going to be enough. We've got 400 years of history to make up for. But this is a time where people are attuned to justice and making the type of investments and changes that are required to move us further in that direction. And I believe an executive order gives the impact to that work that's appropriate and necessary. And I hope everybody tunes into it and asks themselves, how can we get aligned with this effort?
To make sure that I say this on record, I have spoken with them multiple times. I have been to the Louisville Water Company. I've sat in boardrooms and spoke to them on this matter. I've met one-on-one with Terrence Spence to go over the numbers. Both have admitted that there is a cultural issue. If they say anything otherwise, that is a lie.
I think about this quote, and I'm going to say the quote and ask the question. It's James Baldwin, he said, you cannot fix what you will not face. And my question is, I know there's a historics to this, which I think we would all agree on. But my question is, from you all's perspective, do you think right now, presently, Louisville Water Company has a culture issue as it relates to racism, discrimination, prejudice amongst your amongst the workers here? Would you, from your perspective, right now, this moment, would you say that there is an issue with the culture?
What I would say is there is an issue with culture.
We felt hurt. I felt hurt for both reasons, right? And I don't think it's one of that. It was equal reasons. We put that out there. We felt like we needed to correct. We actually had other employees that had contacted us and said these were employees at Almond, not managers, union employees that said that wasn't right what was said. Right?
Yeah, they contacted me too.
That was inaccurate,
Yeah.
right? And so we felt like, and we did do it quickly, right? We were thinking about it and all these kind of things. Now, in saying all that, in hindsight, I'm not sure we should have done that. I think we should have taken a different approach. I do like your approach. Truth, we thought about, as it was over, going down and getting you folks and having you come in. And we just decided, no, let's not do that. You had mentioned in the press conference meeting with us, right? You had laid out some points. I went back with Kathy. We listened to those points again, right? Whether we get to that or not, it doesn't matter.
That there is a problem. The issue is that it's not being addressed publicly. It is not being addressed publicly.
And the pursuit of happiness become a reality in the lives of everyone in our city. That's why I'm announcing today that I'm signing an executive order declaring racism a public health crisis in Louisville. This order lays out in stark terms the societal, economic, physical, and mental health impacts of racism on not just Black Louisville, but all the people of our city. Let's focus on the economic aspect for a moment. Advancing racial equity is part of any sound economic growth strategy. The United States Chamber of Commerce agrees. The Chamber's website cites a 2018 report from the W.K. Kellogg Foundation that concluded, quote, the United States economy could be $8 trillion larger by 2050 if the country eliminated racial disparities in health, education, incarceration, and employment. The gains would be equivalent to a continuous boost in GDP growth of 0.5% per year, increasing the competitiveness of the country for decades to come. So advancing racial equity in our city strengthens our workforce, improves our tax base, and increases the spending power of our residents. It helps each and every one of us by making our city healthier, creating more opportunities and dignity in work, safer neighborhoods, and by helping us advance our goals as a city dedicated to compassion, to equity, and to justice. At a fundamental level, the protests we've seen are about people feeling the absence of those things in their lives and for generations past. We must always strive to address the long-standing and justifiable grievances behind the protest. And of course, we can't change America by ourselves, but we can show America how a city can change itself. We can channel the energy from the pain we've experienced and take ourselves from tragedy to transformation.
I will read a short statement, from two current employees. One a 17-year veteran, and the other a 21-year veteran. Statement is as follows. I wake up every day to provide a service for a community that I love. It's not the job that's the issue, but the work environment that is the problem. The same individuals that say African Americans are lazy, that we don't want to work, are the same people that discriminate, harass, and make it hard for us to be successful in the workplace. Today is the day we make a stand. Today, we not only make an example for Kentucky, but for America. We won't tolerate this anymore. I believe in God and justice, and from this day forward, good will prevail. We want a workplace that provides an equal opportunity for all employees and minorities across the board. We deserve a workplace that doesn't act as if it's above the law. A company that doesn't provide union leadership with illegal bribes and incentives.
Bring awareness to the city, the people, to call out our elected officials, to bring them to the table to sit with us so we can have some conversations about how we move forward, how we progress our city. Enough is enough, and we are going to take a stand until we receive the justice that we are due. Thank you for your time.